Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Mackenzie and I am a graduate student at Hiroshima University in Japan. During this video, I just want to give some information comparing the differences between going to grad school at a university in the United States versus a university in Japan. I created this channel because I want to give more tips about how to pursue an education abroad. If this is anything that you're interested in, please consider liking and subscribing to my YouTube channel. It helps me make more videos. So let's begin. First, I will be talking about the differences for admissions requirements. Let's start off with the United States. So typically in the United States, your admission into the university is more holistic. So you do pay attention to more factors such as GPA, letters of recommendation, extracurricular activities, part-time jobs, things of the sort. Additionally, if you're attending school in the United States, you most likely will be contacting your professors after you've been admitted to the program. It's a slight difference for Japanese universities, but I'll talk about that later. One of the biggest differences for applying to a Japanese master's program is that you need the permission of a Japanese professor who is agreeing to supervise your thesis and your research. From my understanding, if you do not have the interest of a potential professor at the university you're interested in, you will not be accepted into said university. So you need to contact your professors beforehand, get their permission beforehand. Additionally, entrance examinations are fairly common for Japanese universities. Now, in my case, I am not a MEC scholar and I do not have a scholarship from the Japanese government. So for my entrance examination, I had my now supervisor and two other professors on a Zoom call with me. And they just asked me some basic information. I'm a biology major, so they asked me, okay, well, why do you want to change from biology to cultural anthropology? Tell us more about your research plan. Tell me about your steps for the future. Those were the main questions that I was asked. Because there is such a heavy emphasis on your research and your thesis, that does mean that they are less paying attention to extracurricular activities, part-time jobs, and any sort of student position that you may have had during undergrad. Of course, it helps. I'm not saying they're not going to look at it at all, but I will say that if you want to be accepted into a graduate school program in Japan, your thesis, your research plan is where I would focus the most of your attention. Next, I will be talking about the structure of these programs. In the United States, for graduate school programs, there's a heavy emphasis on your coursework, meaning that most of the time you're going to class, taking exams, whether that be multiple choice or written exams, but those are typically the difference between United States universities, and it is optional to write a thesis. Also, if you are to do a research project in the United States, it's more independently and on your own, especially because you don't have the supervisor structure compared to what you see in Japan. And now shifting to Japanese universities. For my master's program, instead of, I do take courses, I have about 30 credits of coursework to take to fulfill my degree requirement, but the heaviest emphasis is on my thesis. So because of that, thankfully, a lot of the classes, they're fairly, I don't want to say the classes are easy, but I will say you don't have these professors who are just trying to make the class hard unnecessarily. They want to give you the information and not trying to bog you down with coursework in addition to writing your thesis. Because of that, I would say I'm much more likely to get an A at a Japanese university compared to a university in the United States. This also means that I don't have as much homework compared to if I were to go to graduate school in the United States. But again, because I'm not getting homework from my classes, I'm then expected to do more reading independently to fulfill the thesis that I plan to write at the end of my program. We do have these things called seminar or zemi, and this is where I would say Zemi gives me the most anxiety during my master's program. I do that presentation twice in a semester, but I present for about an hour, and then after, I have a series of very serious questions that my lab mates ask me along with my supervisor. So it's very important that you prove to your supervisor that you are making progress for your thesis. So Zemi can definitely be a little bit intimidating, but thankfully my professor, he really does give constructive criticism. He's not trying to chip away at my confidence. The closest thing that I can resemble it to is a PhD or a master's defense. People are asking you questions, you're expected to give them quality, well thought out answers. So just keep that in mind. Now moving on to tuition and funding. Unfortunately, there is no way around it. Graduate school programs in the United States are very expensive. No ifs, ands, buts, or coconuts. They're very, very expensive. And typically for master's students, there are not as many fully funded opportunities, especially compared to what you may see in other countries or even what you may see for PhD programs in the United States. If you are interested in a master's program in the United States, there are assistantship programs available. I don't have too much knowledge about that because again, I'm doing my master's in Japan, but maybe that's something that you can look into. But compared to Japan, in Japanese graduate school programs, the tuition is very, very affordable. For example, my tuition is about $3,400 per year, not per semester, per year. But this is something that you will typically see at national universities. Thankfully, I have been able to finance my own education so far. I am applying to tuition reduction scholarships, and maybe in the future I'll make a video about that. But since I'm still in the process, let's just move on to the next thing. Also, if you are a graduate student in Japan, majority of the students that are within my program have some sort of a international student scholarship, whether that be from the government of their home country or from the government of Japan. University scholarships are also available. I have applied to a bunch. I unfortunately have not been able to get any, but since I did save for my tuition, I'm not struggling, but I'm still a broke student. No way around it. Those are pretty much all the points that I wanted to make. If you do have any more questions or if you want more context about my program, I also have a video titled The Benefits of Getting Your Master's Degree in Japan. Definitely take a look at that video if you're interested. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment, like and subscribe. I have so many more video ideas that I would like to upload on here on YouTube. But until next time, have a great day.